Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet, getting back into it, and I've made a couple of small changes to this area. As you can see, we've stretched over an iron belt from the right-hand side to these little iron gear assembly bits because it's just, it's hard for this side to keep up. You can see it's really starting to drag and not get enough iron coming in. Um, so what we are also going to do is we're actually going to stretch this over, do a little bit more in here, just off the bottom belt. The so this side sort of starts to get used a little bit more. And there we go. So we should have a lot more iron gear wheels coming up here. We have changed a couple of minor things as well. I can't quite remember. I think I stretched it over from the right-hand side to fill this guy up. This guy is kind of superfluous at the moment because there's no iron getting up this far anyway, so we're just going to leave it. Well, we're not really using iron up this far anyway, though. I think the last time we use iron is for the pipes. And that might be a problem, actually, because there's no iron here. All the iron's getting used by this, so maybe we should have put the pipes a little bit further down. But we got a ton, actually. That's a ton of underground, so maybe we'll have enough to do our oil anyway. So let's take 40 of those guys. Let's actually make sure that we got radar coverage here so that I can... Mark 2s. That's right, we want Mark 2s. So right now, I'm not sure if the radar's covering it, but let's go down and actually, you can see if you look at the map on the right-hand side, there's a big blue outline. That's how much area the radar will cover. So I'll actually just replace this one, and then we'll see that massive square. So you got a massive square here, massive square there. Those are the Mark II radars. They are awesome. So let's go up and let's start draining that oil. And because we're definitely 100% absolutely not using infinite resources, absolutely, I'll show you again just in case you think I'm gaming this, but yeah, it's definitely turned off. We are going to be chewing through oil as well. We will never completely deplete oil because it goes down to like 0.1% or something like that, and then it just sits there, but it will get decently used. So right now it's like 153%, so that one going down to like 10% or 1% or something stupidly low is not good. It will basically dry up and then we'll need to go somewhere else. And that is actually one of the really annoying things about resources drying up. I don't mind too much if ore dries up because the ore's gone and you just get another station. But with oil, it's just like, oh, it's still like 0.1% there. And it's kind of like, oh, I could still get it and I could still keep mining it. And oh, it might be worth it. And it's just like, it's just like teasing you with the tiny little amount of oil that comes out. It's like, it's not really enough, but yeah. So what we're going to do here is this is going to be our setup. So we're going to have the refineries going down here, and then we're going to have some cracking going down when we need it, and then we're going to have plastic here, and we'll send plastic down the line right next to the wood. Man, I told you we were going to run out of wood. Look at all... Actually, that might be because we put the storage thing. Yeah, look at that. So we got 2,500 sitting in there, nice and beautiful. And these guys are actually full, 4.8k. This guy, 15, 19, 5.4, 42. That's got a lot. Now, if you're wondering why we're running out of iron in the little storage area over here, the utilities area, I should call it a mall because everybody calls it a mall, but it's like an American word, so I'm kind of like... Aussie saying a mall is... I don't want to say shopping center because that's just not cool. But anyway, the whole point of this is actually the throughput. You can see there's only half a belt because this guy is actually using half of this as well. So the splitter, this guy will split half this way and half that way or something like that. So we really need to upgrade these to red belts, but we are also pushing out an initial load of products. So the we shouldn't be using a ton of these guys. You can see these guys are already backing up somewhat. These guys are backing up. This has got 139 in it. Once it gets up to 500 or whatever the maximum is, it'll back up, and then this will start to look a little bit better. But it all depends on how much you use these products. Our inventory is completely full of absolute crap. We really need more inventory slots. Can we do that? Can we get more inventory slots? No, we need blue science. It's just misery. My life is just absolute misery. Let's go ahead and build a warehouse and put that in a easy location where we can drop stuff off, because we are going to need to start. Well, let's actually start dropping some stuff off here. So you can go in there. We don't really need tin on us. We don't need lead on us. What else don't we need? We don't need a lot of iron. The whole point of automating a lot of this stuff is so we wouldn't need a lot of the actual core components. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. Oh no, what have I done? I've contaminated the belts. Do not contaminate the belts. It is a very bad idea. Let's just clean that up. Okay. I think they're clean. I think we have cleaned the belts. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, whoops. We'll keep one stack. Wood, we don't really need. Let's put pretty much all of this wood away. Transport belts, we're doing oil, so we don't need a lot of those. Although this guy's full, so... let's just put a bunch over there. Should be fine. Stone furnaces we definitely do not need. Let's get a warehouse right now. And stone brick. Don't know why I'm dragging across the line when we got a perfectly good chest with perfectly good stuff in it. There we go. Let's build a nice central warehouse just over here. And then we can use that as a remote dumping ground for whatever we don't particularly need. So we don't need all of those. We don't need all of those. We definitely don't need that. That. Water well pump, we probably will actually use that. Stone, wood, all of these electronic component things that we made bits of. Glass, ball bearings, pistol, we definitely don't need that. Iron chest can go out the window. These blueprints, we'll hold on to them, but we can just re-blueprint. Iron axe, water pump, burners. Why do we even still have those? Okay, and carbon. This one's full, so we'll just put the carbon in there because we definitely don't need that. Alright, our inventory space is a lot more full and a lot happier. These are all lit up pretty well. Okay. Unfortunately, getting lights over here is going to be a bit of a pain, but that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. So let's go forth and... we can start setting some lights up, actually. Let's go over here. Let's get a bunch of the big poles. We need to use that little trick to get into that chest remotely. You! Why do we still have you? You need to buzz off. Let's go back to our chest. We need to get rid of these. That one we don't need. The burner inserter we don't need. Red belt we don't need. Okay, the rest of the stuff is fine. And that we can get rid of. And we'll get these guys. We'll click those to calm them down. Alrighty. So what were we going to do here? There's no power there, so we're going to have to pull power from down here. Let's get some of these guys. Let's get some lights. Much better. Much, much, much better. Now we can actually see stuff. Now we're not going to hook up all of these guys at the first thing because we really don't need all of these guys. I think we should be fine with a few of them. Let's get a bunch of storage tanks. over here. Yes, this seems like a good place for it. And let's get some pipe. We're not going to have a lot of pipe because these guys are still a little bit backed up. A little bit. We'll take 2 of these and we'll put this guy down here. We'll click that to actually lock it in. Yeah, lock it in. And then let's go for these and for these. Technically, if we were really concerned about UPS at this early stage, we would make as many of these undergrounds as we could, but I'm not really concerned. So there we go. Crude oil coming in from these guys. Not going to worry about the rest because that should be a decent amount. And now we need to start doing things here. So this is going to be our refinery setup. We do the one apart because it's really, really helpful from a pipes point of view once we start spitting things out. And I'll show you that in just a second. But for now, we need to figure out what side the water actually goes on. I'm trying to remember because when we get advanced processing, we get water and crude oil, and this is a much better recipe. And they do come in here, but if we click this one, it's oil in both sides. And I can never remember which side the frickin' water goes in, so what we might do is we might just pull back like this. A nice bit of thing. You know what? Let's make these undergrounds where we can. Okay. And that one's fine. And then you and you. I will just make them for the bottom thing. This may not be correct. I have a funny feeling that it is though. So we're just going to go with it for now. And if we need to change it later, once we actually have water, then we will just destroy these pipes and move them over. Okay, you go there. And we're going to need to power these guys as well. Power. Automatically puts them in way after we've gone past, but that's all good. And we'll drag this over. Now this recipe, the one that just takes crude oil and not water, is terrible because it produces way too much of this heavy oil. And too much light oil you kind of like, but you really want the petroleum. So it produces 30 heavy oil, which sucks. And the future recipe produces only 10 heavy oil and 55 petroleum instead of 40. So the only reason we are going to be using this is to get our initial amount of plastic, but we are going to be planning for the advanced oil later on. So then what we do is we do this really awesome little setup here. So this guy will go down this line, this guy will go down this line, and this guy will go down this line. And we'll do the undergrounds like that all the way up. And yeah, because this is probably the easiest way I've seen to sort of separate these three. Because the one thing you do not want to do in any game at any point is mixing pipes. You do not want to have 2 fluids in one pipe because there's no way to extract them and the entire system is just ruined. Absolutely ruined. Okay, down 1. And at the end, we'll put these in a storage tank for each thing. I have a feeling we're just going to have to start crafting some pipe because there's a decent amount of underground in the mall. I'm just going to call it a mall. I'm just going to give up and just say, look, it's a mall, done. And if it's an American word and I'm not an American, then just have to deal with it because every single game I've seen so far has called it a mall, and that's just what we're going to have to call it. So, heavy, light, and done, 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 done. And these pipes are generally decent enough to be able to store all of this stuff in, so there's not going to be any problems there. Go away, rock. Actually, it takes like 3 clips worth of ammo to do that. So let's go ahead and craft some ammo while we are here. So go there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and craft some ammo. Just for the purposes of destroying these guys and getting some stone. Alright, storage tanks. That's another thing we should have built at the mall. Storage tanks. Is there an easy place to do that? Right here. Let's just walk over and do it. Let's just do it. Mining productivity. We can't get number 4, but we will be getting a bunch more. You can see, look at this drill. On the right hand side it says productivity plus 6%. That is good for us because this entire iron deposit is going to last longer. And basically whenever we get blue science, we are going to be going straight for mining productivity. And whenever we get anything, we'll be going for mining productivity and just push that through the roof, because I don't like having to get new bases if I don't need to, and it's just a pain in the ass. So give me some undergrounds. I'm building them. I could be getting them from somewhere else, but whatever. Iron. So we need iron and we need steel. So let's get this and let's make some storage tanks and let's make not many of them. Okay, we're already full on these guys. That's beautiful. Not quite full on those, but that's probably overkill anyway. These pipes. Let's just grab a few. 130 actually made it in there. Of course, because these guys are dead because it's not getting me iron. So let's actually spread this across just to spread the pain sort of over both lines. So it's not just this line dying and this line being perfectly healthy. Although this line's not perfectly healthy either. Yeah. Okay, so now we've got pipes coming out from these guys as well, which is awesome. There we go. I kind of feel like I need a drink at the moment. Give me some storage tanks. But we are going to just persevere and push through and deal with it. So we're going to have a couple of rows after these refineries. The first row is going to be for heavy oil products. My keyboard does something stupid sometimes. So we're going to have the heavy oil tank up the top, and then we're going to have the light oil tank, and then we're going to have the petroleum tank. So you go down like that, and you don't quite make it, so we're going to have to go like that. And there we go. These are all these tanks filling up. So heavy oil is going to be first. We're going to do some lubricant. I always get those confused. But yeah, so we're going to need to make some lubricant for electric engines later on, which is needed for a whole bunch of stuff, including robots. So that's where most of our heavy oil will go, and we're going to crack the stuff that we don't need. And so that's going to be this line here. Let's have a look at a chemical furnace, chemical plant. So we're going to save ourselves a bit of room here. That should be enough. Let's get another chemical plant over here. And we're going to be doing some light oil cracking over here. I think for this plant, we don't have to worry about using light oil for anything else. Light oil, you can also use it for solid fuel, which you use later on for rocket fuel, which you use for rockets. We are not getting into that stage for this base. That'll be later on for other bases. This is just early game stuff. So now, chemical plant number 3 is going to be for Mr. Plastic. I'll put that over there. So we got a ton of room for these guys. So you are going to be plastic, and plastic takes coal as well. Oh, chemical plants. Let's get 47. That's a good number. How are our pipe supplies doing? We could use a bit more. We don't have any more though, because this iron is starting to go down the tubes as well. Well, we used it for getting gears out here as well. So this is, iron is collapsing all over the place. It's full here, but the throughput of a single yellow belt is just not enough. We're going to have to upgrade that to red, but then we almost have to upgrade this entire belt to red because otherwise it's just going to look ugly. So, we're getting back into it. Why do we have Mark 1 drills? You need to get those Mark 1 drills and put them in there so they can be upgraded to Mark 2s. And speaking of Mark 2s, we've got 471. I don't think we need that many, but let's take 22. And let's go over, and you can see this little coal deposit. We are going to use that for plastic. I'm not going to pull coal from up on the main bus because we really don't want to. That's the same coal line we're using for smelting as well, and we really don't want to. So, get some power over here. We shouldn't need too much coal at the start, so we're going to use 10 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And get some power. And now we can reach all the way over the other side without needing intermediate little things, which is beautiful. 3. We can do a funny sort of balancer here because we're going downwards, so that's pretty cool. And we'll just stretch that over and across. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do. What are we at? 21 minutes for this episode. So I think getting plastic down to the bus is something that we can probably accomplish. Anyway, let's group these machines nice and close together. Seems like we might have left space for beacons, but that's not really our plan. We're not going to be worrying about beacons for this game. Definitely not. That's just too crazy. Alright, so we're going to run coal down the front side, and we're going to use long inserters to get it in, and then the actual plastic output is going to be at the front side. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 machines, and we've got to go back and we've got to make sure that we do proper stuff like that. 2, 3, 4, 5 to make sure that's not what we want. That's going to put it on the left hand side of the belt. We want it on the other side. Oh god, what am I doing? There we go. That's what we needed. That's going to put on the other side. That's beautiful. Alrighty. Let's get some where's our power? Let's move the power over here. Let's get the power. We're going to need power on both sides. No, on the top and on the top. And we're going to have to put lights on the other side there. There we go, that's beautiful. I can just imagine how painful it is watching this video without lights. So we will try and get the damn things done as best as we can. There we go, that's much better. Yeah, even I'm having to squint, so it can't be good for my faithful YouTube followers. Unfortunately, when we're going up into the woods here, we don't have a lot of choice because I'm not stretching the damn poles all the way up here, but that's all we need to do, and that is beautiful. So, here we go. We are going to be putting plastic out on all of these lines. Need another one there, and then just grab the coal from on the far line. And now all we need to do is get these guys. So let's figure this out. This guy goes like that, joins up there, and we have plastic. Beautiful. And this should be more than enough for early game anyway to get blue signs and all of that stuff done. And we need blue signs, don't we? Did they change blue signs in this game for Bob's Mods? I have a feeling they might have, yeah. So battery. We need batteries as well. Electronic circuit boards. It's going to be painful. that we need the transistors, and the transistors is plastic, so we're taking care of plastic. That's fine. But now we need batteries. Where are my batteries in here? Always losing the damn things. Maybe we haven't researched them yet. Alright, go those. These are electric engines. Electric engines no longer require... Oh, they never required batteries. That was the robots. What am I talking about? Where are batteries? Flight. I'm going to go backwards through this. There we go. There's batteries. Batteries require sulfur. So let's go ahead and get some sulfur going down. This is actually going to be interesting, because what can happen is we can stretch the plastic line all the way down to the bus, and what will happen is light oil will fill up, it'll back up these refineries, and we won't get any more petroleum. And we can't crack the light oil down to petroleum because we don't have advanced research. It's not a huge problem though, because what'll happen is I will just create a whole bunch of extra tanks for light oil so it can fill up till the dogs come home. And then when we get light oil cracking, it'll all just empty out, and I can not... I'm going to control click that because I'll get way too many. Whoops. I got sticky keys because I got tendonitis. So sometimes very silly things happen. With this game. Okay. We're kind of squeezing in here a little bit, actually. I'm not sure I like this, but we can refactor it later, or we can just upgrade belts. Go away. So we're going to move that down there. I'm going to move that. That down there. And we're going to sort of follow the steel, because plastic is going to go right next to steel. On the other side, of course, it's going to go below it. So here we go. Ah, beautiful. Worked out beautiful. Yeah. Let's just load it up. Why not? You can never have too much plastic in this game. Let's make that steel as well. Do we still have any iron chests lying around in important places? I feel like there probably is some. Let's make that one and that one steel. Let's make that one steel. And let's make that one steel. Okay, so now I can start producing more of those and keeping them in the backlog. Are we starting to use up too much steel as well? We must be. All of these guys are... No? Not using up too much steel? It seems okay. Maybe this is just the fact that we are actually using steel now, and we just didn't have it before. Well, we weren't using it before anyway. So that's it. That is plastic. We got to get batteries, and then we got to... I'm really sort of, going through as fast as I can to get this stuff, because I really, really want some of these things. But at the same time, we're not doing a bad job, and each of these videos is half an hour. So even though it feels like I'm rushing, you guys have probably been like, oh, this is like 12 videos so far. This is nuts. And we basically haven't even got blue science. So yeah, that's fine. Electronic circuit boards. Oh, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you so much. Bronze as well. We need to... Bronze is copper and tin. So we can do that. We can take care of that as well. But this base is starting to get a little bit out of control. How... Oh, man. I think I'm setting myself up for a lot of pain by going straight for nuclear robots. We may just have to get some normal robots at the start of the game and throw the normal robots around and get them doing some stuff just to sort of take the pain away, because getting the research for proper nuclear robots without using robots is going to be pain. Like, we need to get the purple science and the high-tech science, the yellow science, and that's just going to be pain. So logistics robots, we can get them, actually, we can almost get them without blue science. We need flying robot frames, and we need these guys. Logistic robot Mark 1 brains. It's a bit of pain, but it's not that bad. Once we get the electronic circuits, we should be fine. So it's basically the same stuff as you need for blue science. But we will be doing that fairly soon, and yeah, I suspect we will just be jumping into crappy robots before we get nuclear robots. Anyway, that has been this game. Thank you very much. Trains. We need to start worrying about trains as well. How is our ore supply going? You can see this drill right here. He's not mining because he's got no ore. All the ore has been demolished from around him. He's mined it all up. That is going to be a... Look at the lead. The lead's starting to go down as well. These guys are doing all right. This guy is starting to slip a little bit. Copper. Oh, look at copper. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. This is going to be the theme for the rest of the game, I think. Ore constantly running out. That's why the mining productivity. You gotta have the mining productivity. You just gotta. I'm going to try and light this up. This is going to be the last thing I do. We use our upgrade planner. There we go. We upgraded all of those poles. And now we can actually put some lights in the spaces. That's beautiful. Sulfur processing. Let's get batteries. Is that zinc and explosives? We don't need any of those. So anyway, next video is going to be batteries and electronic circuits. Everything seems to be going towards electronic circuit boards. Which I think we're slowly moving towards just throwing things together just to get electronic circuit boards, just to get things done. We're not really building beautifully like we did previously. I'm going to try and make sure that I do that. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one.